Welcome back to the YouTube channel Time to Ace Exam, and for today I'll be teaching you and giving you tips and strategies on how you can score better on your GCE O-level additional math paper. Okay, let's get started. So just a bit of background information about myself before I start giving you tips on improving your additional math paper in case you just want to have a bit of credentials. So I actually used to be a GCE O-level student who takes additional math as a subject for my O-levels. And the thing is, the reason why I take this subject is because I always have this perception of myself as a really good math genius. That's because I was able to ace and excel my elementary math subject. So I thought, maybe I should take additional math as a subject as well, to just leverage on the genius that I have. But the thing is, the hard truth that I found out is that the concept taught in additional math is really confusing. It got me perplexed for about a year and a half, and I have been failing the subject till my prelims in my final year. So I literally got an F9, really an F9. I was at my 20 to 30% all the time for my semester's exams. Until I actually discovered these useful and effective golden tips that I have come up with myself. And I think that after I applied all these tips to the way how I revise for this subject, I was able to obtain a B3, jumping from 6 grades for my O-levels. So the thing is, if I can actually be able to improve 6 grades and create a miracle using these golden tips, I believe that you can do it as well. So allow me to just share with you some useful golden tips for you. So because the thing is like what I have mentioned earlier, I was able to use these tips and strategies effectively and improve my additional math grades from F9 to B3. Please remember that, so that you can be convinced that these tips are really for you. So the very first golden tip that I would like to address is to basically practice. So we know the common saying we are very familiar about practice makes perfect. And I believe that it is really, really important to just adopt a regular habit of practicing the additional math topics that you are weak at, on a daily basis. Practice about maybe 10 questions per day on the assessment book or on your 10-year series. For example, if you are poor at trigonometry, practice on it. Make sure that you have a strong understanding of the subject, or make sure you practice to the point where you actually memorize the steps for each question already. Don't be lazy. Be a little bit more hardworking, where you're able to practice the questions that you are unfamiliar about, so that you are able to improve, because there's no point working on questions that you are already very good at. The second tip is to work on the basics. So for this tip is usually for A-math topics that you have zero clue about. You literally have no idea at all. When you come to class, when your teacher is teaching you this topic, maybe for example, integration. When your teacher is going through integration, you have no idea what is he talking about. He's just blabbering and in one ear and out the other for you. So I think that if this is the situation that you are in, then it's high time for you to go back to the fundamentals and work on your basics. Because the thing is, working on the basics and very simple questions will actually give you some form of confidence booster, knowing that you actually have some understanding of this subject, and there is a way, or there's a possibility that you are able to excel in this topic as well. And ultimately, of course, this actually builds a really strong and stable foundation in your understanding of the topic. So maybe, for example, let's say differentiation. Differentiation, you have no idea what is dy dx. Dy dx, oh, what's that? have a bit of understanding of it, logic it out, understand the key concepts by going through your textbook over and over again, or you can consult your additional math teacher and just have a very slow pace consultation to just make sure that you understand the very basics of the topic first. Afterwards, you are able to slowly progressively work on a little bit more difficult questions, and afterwards you can work on the exam questions which are usually of more difficulty to make sure that you can reinforce your understanding. The last golden tip that I just have for you would be to observe the similarities of topic questions. Okay, this golden tip is actually more of like an exam strategy, because the thing is there are pretty much a lot of similarities in the way how the question is being asked in your 10-year series. So if you look at your 10-year series, or if you do your homework on the textbook, you will realize that most of the questions of the similar topics, maybe for example differentiation, they're all pretty much standardized and similar. And this is because the scope of the additional math syllabus for each topic is pretty much narrow and limited. As we know, that additional math is a subject that is being taken by the GCE students, so it's brought down to secondary schools, to just get a head start for GCE. So the thing is, the formulas and the concepts that are being taught and tested are usually constrained. So that's why you're able to see that some of the questions in your exam papers, they're pretty much similar. So in terms like using the same steps over and over again, maybe like partial fractions, or differentiation, integration, trigonometry, logarithm. These topics, they will be just using the same formula, apply it, then just using different numbers only. So the thing is, if you are able to observe the similarity of the topic questions and then just memorize the steps for those questions that appear the most, then you'll be able to do better. So in conclusion, for some of you who are watching this video and you know that you are struggling with your additional math, right? This subject may definitely seem really daunting and merciless for you. You may think that there's no more hope. I was there, because I actually failed the subject many times. I got an F9 and I didn't think that I would be able to pass the subject. So you may actually want to give up on this subject and not work on it anymore. But trust me, if you are able to use the golden tips that I share with you and apply the tips to your revision, additional math can really just be a piece of cake. It's easy peasy if you are able to apply the right strategies and have the proper mindset and attitude towards how you tackle this subject. In fact, additional math can be an easier subject than elementary math. And this is because, like what I mentioned earlier, the scope and the field of the syllabus is much more narrow and limited compared to elementary math. So thank you so much for listening to this presentation. And if you feel that this video is really useful for your presentation, do hit the subscribe button, just for more upcoming content that I'll be producing for you to help you with your revision. Alright, see you guys soon. Thank you.